Welcome to Beyond Tomorrow, with ideas designed to look toward the future, with personal examples, live interviews, and more. Hi, I'm Chef Jim Melton. Why Chef Jim? Well, back in 1985, I was a speaker at the ASTA conference, the American Society of Travel Agents in Rome, Italy. And I was speaking at the Pallure. And after the conference, Dana and I took a quick trip over to Paris. It was our first trip to Paris, and we fell in love with Paris. Now, we've been going there probably almost every year since, for a couple of months to dine, to experience the wines, and for sure the people and the culture. So I think it was back in 2013 when we found ourselves in Avignon, a lovely and charming little walled village in Provence, southern France. We were at Leal, an indoor market, and they have everything there you'd ever want. We were at the cheese counter. Actually, it was a cheese area. And we must have had a really strong, perplexed look on our face because this fine gentleman stopped and said, "It looks like you need some help." Boy, we sure did. I said, there seems to be a cheese for every day of the week and for every occasion in France. And this was our first introduction to Jean-Marc Leroux. Now, we talked for a while, and then we walked back to his restaurant. He said, "Come on, let's go back and have some lunch. We can walk every place in Provence. It's not that large. In Avignon, it's not that large." So we had a delicious lunch, and we were there for several hours. And then Dana and I got the bright idea, wouldn't it be great if we could have people with us for cooking classes and wine tours? So we did just that for several years. We had collected people for cooking classes, and Jean-Marc was our chef extraordinaire. And we organized wine trips to Baume de Venise, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Gigondas, and we really got to know the area. So that's why I'm playing Chef Jim. Just as in anything else in life, there is a recipe that can be relied upon to help bring you what you want in life, whether it's building a relationship, a rocket to Mars, or cooking and baking. Simple is best. The old Occam's razor principle holds true. The simplest solution is generally the best. So I'm going to make one of my favorite treats today, a loaf of banana bread. So I better stop loafing around and get with the program. And I'll give you the recipe as I go through the program. But right now, let's take a moment and get back to simple. How do we use simple in cooking and baking? Well, let's go back to a statement that was shared years ago, eons ago as a matter of fact. Give us this day our daily banana bread. All right, simple ingredients with fabulous results. Take the easy path, go with what works. Now, I like to lay out my ingredients ahead of time, and there's a parallel to this. Life is somewhat like baking. It can be molded by your thoughts. So as I said before, I like to lay out my ingredients ahead of time. Besides, it saves time. So the first thing I do is prepare my loaf pan. I get a little olive oil here, a little bit, and I like to get my hands in it. I'm a potter, and I enjoy the tactile experience. And just prepare this, and then I'll set it aside and bring a bowl over, and I'm going to melt 1 stick of butter. I'll put these in here like this. I cut them up ahead of time. It works pretty well to do that. I gotta get both hands in here. All right, there we go. And I'm going to put it in the microwave for 1 minute, and that way it'll be liquid. So here we are with the warm butter. Now, next thing I do is I take 3/4 of a cup of dark brown sugar. Dark brown sugar has more molasses in it, and I like it because it has a little more gusto. And I put the dark brown sugar in with the hot butter. Why do I put it? I'm going to mix it. I put it in there now to cool the butter off because our next step would be the eggs. And we don't want to put eggs in hot butter because we're going to end up with scrambled eggs. All right, so here we go. I'm going to bring it down here and start mixing it a little bit like that. That's good. All right. Now, well, there we go. Sometimes it gets lumpy and you want to unlump it. Again, I love to work with my hands. All right, now let's take a little vanilla. I use two teaspoons of vanilla right here. That's pretty good. I like it, 2 teaspoons like that. And continue mixing. That'll be good. All right. Let that settle in a little bit. Now I'm going to use my dry ingredients. What I'm using here is 2 cups of unbleached organic flour. And I'm going to put in there 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And I'm going to put in a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. There we go. Right there. Good. Excellent. All right. I'm going to leave that alone for the moment. And the next step will be our bananas. So, guess what I didn't do? I didn't put the eggs in. So, easy to do. Let me get the eggs. We'll mash the bananas later. All right, so here we go. I generally put the eggs in a separate bowl. Why? Just to check them out and make sure they're okay. I like to do that rather than put them in a great. Well, there's a couple of egg shells in here, right there. Pull that out, easy peasy, and 1 little piece right here. Yeah, there we go. Come on, little guy. There you go. Okay. Now I can put this in my bowl like that and set aside, and I can mix that up. Nice and easy. Now for sure they're not going to scramble. Okay, let me set that aside for the moment, and we'll get another bowl and we'll start with the bananas. There's 3 bananas for this recipe. Very simple. Peel them like that and drop it in. There's 1. There we go. Smells good already. The aroma when this is cooking is absolutely phenomenal. I tell you, if you're selling your home, cook banana bread. You're going to love it, and so will your people looking at the home. All right, what I use is I use a potato masher to mash my bananas, and works pretty good. Works pretty good. Okay. All right, so I mix it up. Sometimes I put a cloth underneath this when it gets a little noisy, and it stabilizes it. So we're pretty good here with the bananas. So now we're going to take the dry ingredients, and I mix it up a little, and then I place it with the wet ingredients right here. That's good. And I'll mix that around. Takes a couple of minutes, but the reason I don't do this ahead of time, sometimes when you're baking, you don't want the baking to actually start in the mixing while you're making the bananas and getting those ready to go. So here we go. We're doing pretty good. Looks a little dry, but once you put the bananas in there, it'll be just fine. Here we go. It's kind of like kneading clay, like I'm back in the pottery studio here. All right, so there we go. Now I have a spatula here, and I'll take this, and I'll just put all these delicious bananas. I use ripe bananas there, of course. You can tell. Put that around there, and continue mixing. See how it adds the moisture to it very easily. That's good. Now we're going. This is such a delicious aroma. I love it. Okay, now 3/4 of a cup to a cup of walnuts. Coarsely chopped is good. And continue with that. There we go. There we are. Okay, I like my fingers. I like to get that off of there. Don't waste anything at all. Maybe that's the Virgo in me, I'm not sure. All right, so here we go. I'm going to get the loaf pan right here and set it down there. Mix around that oil just a little bit. Okay, now I use this bowl rather than the large because it's easier to put into the loaf pan. I'm going to clean the sides and keep cleaning, and it'll eventually just drop right in there. Right in there. There we go. A little bit on the edge. Like that. And we're ready to rock and roll. Shake it up a little bit. And we're ready for the oven. Now, there's no need to use an entire oven for something like this. I like to preheat the toaster oven to about 350 degrees for maybe 50 to 55 minutes. That works real well. So we're going to pop it in the oven here in just a moment, and we'll come back when it's done. See you in a bit. All right, so now it's been cooking for 50 minutes. Put my gloves on for safety. This is the oven we use. Aroma. Ça sent bon. Ça sent bon. Look at that. Look at that. All right, now you want to test it. If you want to, it's done because you can tell it's nice and brown on the top. But you want to put a toothpick in there, pull it out, clean as a whistle. All right. While this is cooling, we're going to let it cool for about 30 minutes so we can pop it out easily. Dana and I often like a good cup of coffee with our banana bread. So we use our French press. It's easy and it reminds us of France. Oh, and we use Paradiso Robusto by Cialetti. Can't get more Italian than that. Marrying France and Italy. Hooked on Books in Colorado Springs. They have 2 bookstores, Jim and Mary, our dear friends. I'll tell you, this stuff is, really good. Now that's a good cup of coffee. All right, it's been 30 minutes, and guess what? It's cool enough to touch. So what I do is I turn it upside down. There we go. I tap it. Comes out nicely. There we go. And I flip it over. There we go. Okay. Although we like to give these away as gifts, we never give it away without a baker's cut. What's a baker's cut? Now let me show you. All right. Here's the baker's cut. There we go. You can't make a delicious loaf of bread like this without tasting it. And we mark it as such. We put the date on it, and you have received a baker's cut loaf. So, have fun with this recipe. Enjoy, and bon appetit. All right, that's it for today. We're in touch, so you be in touch. Thanks for tuning in.